Invite you as we go for a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for your grace. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you, Father, for just blessing us the many ways that you do, Father, and we don't deserve it. Thank you for just watching over us safely, Father. Thank you for watching over and looking after our friends and our family, Father, and keeping them safe from all hurt, harm, and danger as these different dangers plague our world. Father, we'd just like to ask now that you give us the message, give us a word to be change agents in this society. Father, we'd just like to thank you once again for having the desire and the ability to come out and to learn of you. These things we sincerely ask you. Also in Jesus' name pray. Amen. Amen. All right. Today's message, like I said, you have to really consult with it. Yeah. It's not all the time. I'm learning not to come up with a title or a message because God has been changing that each time I come up with it. But, and that's the thing, and we have to learn daily to allow Him to guide us in everything that we do. And once we do that, then everything we do will prosper. And, oftentimes, and I know we share it in Sunday school a lot, we talk about it in Sunday school a lot of times we go and do things, and we do things out of the order in which God has told us to do it. He tells us to go left, and in our minds we need to go right. And we wonder why when we go right, it doesn't work. So we have to learn to get ourselves and do it out of the group. I think it's Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bone. Honor the Lord with the substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine.
We stop right there and start an open discussion right here. Look at what, just listening to that, he has given us, that sums up everything else he has told us to do in the Bible. First fruits, we know that's 10, that's time, and offering. And to do those things and doing those things with thanksgiving, basically, with joy, that is having a faith and knowing that he's going to do what he said he's going to do. And when he said, be not wise, all the time we think we're smarter than God. We really think we know better about our lives than what God did. And God created us. And I'm going to go with what one saying that Bishop Joseph Warren Walker said at one of the conferences I was at. He said he was using an analogy of Batman, and he said that every day he would get off the bus, his dad would be home, and he loved Batman was his favorite cartoon, and he said of course the Joker was the villain, that was basically like the Superman's kryptonite. The villain was to Batman. And he said that every evening the episodes got better and better. So he was wondering, like this particular evening, that he got off the bus, he said, Daddy, what happened today? And he said, his dad told him, well, Batman got caught. He'd been trapped. And so he said he started pondering with his dad about, well, is robbing gonna get him? And he said, no, he got him too. But he summed it up with his message was to us. He's like the script was written before the action was taken, and which means Batman is the hero. The script has already been written of his life, of what's going to happen. The hero is going to survive, and he brought that back to what the Bible said. He spoke of our end being foretold in the beginning. So our end, the success for our lives was already foretold before we were born. Our destiny, as long as we trust in him and believe in him, your success is hinged on our trust, faith, and obedience to God. And we have to learn, once again, to die daily, get ourselves out of the way and realize, Lord, I'm not smarter than you. Lord, you don't need my help. Lord, I'm your child. And I want to do this, but since I'm your child, I got to learn to trust you, even though I think I know better. And I might as well be real with it to ourselves. We think we know better. All of us were children at one time. All of us have had some encounter with the child. Some of us are having encounters with children. And the things that we tell them to do, they figure we just being mean. They figure that we don't know what we're talking about. They don't understand we were 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 at one time. And we're trying to protect their future when we tell them the do's and the don'ts. God's trying to protect our existence through the telling of our do's and the don'ts. It's already here. We don't have to go and ask him, Lord, what do I do now? Now, he wants us to seek him, but he has given us the roadmap. He's given us the guide. This is the spiritual GPS right here. And it's like, instead of a global positioning system, this is the godly positioning system. And he has given this to us already. He tells us, also, he said, he said, study to show thyself. And I'm saying that to throw back to the fact that as long as we are able to read, people can tell us anything. But until we read it for ourselves, nobody can tell you that it's dark outside and put wool over your eye without you knowing for yourself that it really is dark outside. So when you read yourself, there's no excuse for us not knowing what the words say, what God expects of us. There's no excuse. And we can come to him with all kinds of excuses. Guess what? If 20 years from now, I'm coming up with an excuse for something, or one of us coming up with, God, I knew we won't come up with that excuse. That, a lot of you on January 28th, 2035, he gonna lie. God already knows what we're doing, what we're dealing with. He already knows the destiny of our lives. And we gotta understand, we can't fool him the way we think we're fooling him. So, and the good thing is, it's almost like, y'all know when you have a child who has done something that you told them not to do something, they don't know that you already know that they did it, but you never say anything to them.
That's right.
It's like it's like you already, it's like you told them, don't go down there. But by the time they get to where they're going, when you told them not to go and doing what you told them not to do, Mama already been told. But they get back to the house and they act like, oh. And as parents, we get to the point where we're like, I would have been down there, but I'm not gonna say anything right now. And they, so they think they've gotten by. Here we are. God doesn't say anything directly to us sometimes. So we think we've gotten by. However, he said he marked it all down. I mean, everything that we do has been marked. There's a record being kept of the things that we do. And he loves us so much to the point where he says, you know what, I ain't gonna strike him right now. Now they're gonna get punished for it. But I ain't about to strike him right now. I'm gonna let him make it, let him be great. But nonetheless, on whatever day it may be, he gotta pay for it, she gotta pay for what she did. Because I love him. Our children don't realize the punishments come because we do love them. With us, is it comfortable when God punishes us? No. However, we have to get out of our personal selves and say, You know what? He says he's chasing those he loves. So we need to go back and kind of recant our thought process and understand that, okay, Lord, I'm not going to do this. Y'all know, that's been a thing like that we've been talking about for the past few weeks. Lord, why am I going to do this? And we want to be selfish. It's easy to be selfish and say, Lord, I don't need to go through this. And so like you said last week, that when God says, what makes you so special that you can't go through something? We need to count it as an honor when God does punish us. Now, I'm not saying relish and enjoy. No, I'm not saying that, relish and being punished. But when God thinks enough of you to punish you, to straighten you up, I mean, he thinks enough of you to love you back to the way he needs you to be. And we have to get to that, we have to get our minds wrapped around it from that perspective. And I think at that point, is it going to say that, oh, we're going to enjoy being punished then? No. But we'll understand those purposes behind the punishment. Because if he never punishes, and we see this and we say this all the time, those people who do any and everything and nothing ever happens to them. We look at them and say, man, look like they're getting away with everything. They got everything going their way. But inside, we don't know what's happening to them. And then to the other side of that, we don't know the fact that, now that we look at it, we can say, Lord, why are they getting away with it, doing all this wrong deeds all the time? That's kind of a scary situation. If you've gone so far and nothing wrong happened. Now, it doesn't say that God doesn't love them. No. It doesn't say that. We'll never judge anybody to say God loves one set of people more than he loves anyone else. That's not the point here. The point is, when you have that relationship and that ability to talk to God and call God on his own word, and he doesn't, like we said last week, he don't answer when you want him to. And when he does answer, what'd you say, man? He didn't give you the answer you wanted. You didn't like the answer he told you, And it's like, Lord, I gotta do what? And if God said, yeah, you heard me. Go over there. You know that person don't like you. You know that person did that to you on purpose. And I gotta go apologize. Lord, why me? That goes that what makes you so special that you don't have to go through something or deal with something. We look at him. What did he do to anybody? What did he do harmful to anybody? Was his purpose to harm anybody while he was here on earth? His purpose was to save everybody he came in contact with. And still we see what happened. And the thing is, when we look at the Bible and the wording in it, it said, who was going to forgive them? Well, those people wronged them, but he was the one pleading on behalf of the wrong people and say, Lord, forgive them. So he's done nothing to anybody, but yet he's the one representing forgiveness for those people who are harming him. That's a powerful statement. And that's why we get to the point he said we're in his own image, and that's the image that we have to retrust. He's not trying to say, oh, y'all are weak. He's basically telling us, in me, you're strong. When you rely on, trust in, and carry out my command, you're strong. Because he says in his word, in our weakness, he is what? He is strength. But when we constantly call on a problem, give it to him, and still try to fix it. Proverbs said, well, be not wise. We're trying to fix something that we've asked him to fix. So basically, we're saying, Lord, I got it. Don't worry about it. I asked you about it, but I got it. Then, go ahead, baby. Go ahead. Bring it.
That right there, not many people know this. I don't even know if I've shared this with you. But I can remember when I divorced, or right before I divorced. I was driving a vehicle and I said to myself, if you divorce, you can't pay for this vehicle. You need to trade it in. I traded that vehicle in and I kept that vehicle for about a year. Some things happened. I had to move back home to Columbus. I came back to Tuscaloosa, and probably about a month after I moved back to Tuscaloosa, they repossessed that car. And I couldn't understand why. I was like, Lord, I traded the vehicle in so I could afford to pay for what I was driving. And it took about 5 or 6 years, and he spoke to me as plain as that. You didn't lose that car because you couldn't pay for it. You lost that car because you didn't trust me enough to know that I would help you pay for it. I could have let you pay for the truck you were driving, but you said you couldn't afford it. So since you said you couldn't afford what I was already letting you drive, I took what you got instead. When I tell you that shook me like nothing I had ever experienced before, you have to trust the process no matter how uncomfortable it is, y'all.
Yes.
And you have got to trust the process.
Yes.
It took me a while, but I promise, every time I tell that story, I get chills because it's like, well, you don't know what I can do. It's basically what it said. You said I couldn't, so I proved you right. I could, but you said I couldn't. So that whole doing things and you know you shouldn't, and he spoke to you plainly and told you I can, you just gotta trust me. That's some real stuff.
And that leads to the next thing too, you know, he said life and death
Yes.
was in the power of the tongue. Do you speak life over your life? Do you speak death over your life? Do you speak success over your life or failure over your life? We are our own best friend or worst enemy. But we're our own best friends only when we trust in him. And like I said, back to what Proverbs just told us, it said, lean not to thine own understanding. And I'm going to go, and I can't remember the other scripture that backs it up, but it says, sense to man is foolishness to God. And sense to God is foolishness to man. Because our little minds can't wrap around the stuff that he already has for us. We don't understand how, you know, we look at the miracle that happened in the Bible, the fish and the bread fed the multitude. You know, people don't go deep into it and know that was just the 5,000. Didn't include women and children. Those were just the meat. And you can, I'm just going to hypothetically say, if there were 5,000 men there, you can imagine how many women and children were there. And he took that little bit and fed the multitude. And there were leftovers. I'm gonna say, Jeff not here, but I'm gonna say it the way he would say it. It would carry our plate, girl. Right. You know, and well, we gotta understand, he does that. You know, we take that 10 that we're supposed to give. All of us, you know, and like I said, for a long time, I was guilty of not giving. We take that 10 and we wonder all of a sudden now, Lord, I got this bill that needs to be done. If I pay the 10th, I won't have the money. But then you wonder why, when the day that you're going to pay the bill, you got more than enough money to pay. And I know it's not just the money. A lot of times, you know, I share with y'all too about the grace that's on us. If we just ask, because the replacement of money is his grace and mercy. You might not have the money to pay it back, right, but you call the folks and ask, right, and they say, don't worry about it. You know, or somebody come to you and say, oh, I got this for you. I got this for you. You didn't know, you didn't ask, you weren't expecting. But it's based on something that we have done. So when we start doing what we need to do for him, and also, well, let me rephrase that. I'm not going to say for him. I'm going to say to him, because it's for us. When we do these things to him, it's for us. Because he don't need us. That's why I say it's not for him, because he don't need us. He's just testing us to say, You gonna do this to me? You know, you gonna give me this? That's all I'm not asking for your whole check. I'm not asking for all your earnings. I just want, like, you know, in the word, in Jeff's word, I just want a dime out of every dollar. I don't want 50 cents. I don't want a quarter. I just want a dime out of every dollar. Alabama wants $1 and another dollar. Alabama Power wants $1 and another dollar. God just wants that dime. And let's break it all down. He wants that penny. He wants a penny out of a dollar. I mean, that's all he asks. You know, we look at it, we find pennies on the sidewalk all the time. People throw pennies away. So is that significance of what we earn, of what he wants? He just wants a little bit. And we gotta understand too, that goes with time. That goes with our time. He's not telling us to go around praying all day, every day. You know, we got lives to live. But that time could be, it's that time when nobody but God and you know about it. It's that time when you want to be public with it. You can't be. But the majority of that time is me and God know about this. You know, I can talk to you when we have our spats, and me and God that have our spats. You know, I can't bring anybody else in that conversation. That's God and I. That's our conversation. So once again, it's that time. But in that, do we honor him? Do we show him love? Do we thank him? You know, and that's all he wants. That's all he wants. He's not asking us to, like I said, if he wanted most of the time, would we have jobs? No. We couldn't work a job if he wanted the time that he actually deserved. You know, because it would be, there would not be enough time in the day for us to be able to honor him and to converse with him. But he just wants a small portion of whatever it is that he has already given us. He's given us access to it. He don't want but all. He don't want but a little bit of it back. Just a little bit. All right, somebody else give me a situation that was very synonymous to us being obedient and thanking him and giving honor to him and getting ourselves out of the way. Somebody share of a time in a verse in that scripture that stood out to you. If you like me to, I'll read it again. It said, you know, like I said, I'll start over, I'll read it again. It said, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. I'm going to take that one right there. In all your ways, acknowledge him. No matter what you do. Can't hide. You're not hiding anything from him. He knows whatever it is that we're doing, wherever it is that we are. Acknowledge him. You know, and you know, if you're doing something, and you know, okay, Lord, I know this ain't right, but you're not sitting up trying to hide and say, oh, I'm gonna hide this. You ain't gonna know about this. Now, does it make it right for us to do it? No. But in the midst of it, acknowledge wherever you are, whatever it is, and Lord, please have mercy on me. Lord, thank you for getting me through this. Lord, please just be with me. Because he know I don't want to use the word foolish, but he know he's right. I mean, God know that. Right. He know that we just like those wayward children. Wow. We are the wayward children. And sometimes he allows us to be in those places that we're really not supposed to be to straighten us up.
That's true.
You know, a lot of times we get so self-righteous to the point where we think that, oh, I'm saved today. I got saved last week. I got my suit on and nobody better not say anything to me. Does that, and you look at the same person as right when you were, oh, they ain't saved, you know, I don't know why they doing all that. Well, wait a minute. You were there with them last week. You mean to tell me they that bad of people now? That was your boy. He would want to pay your way into the place last week, you know. But but now you so saved that he he no good anymore. I don't have anything to do with them anymore because I'm, the Lord has saved me. Has he really? When we get to that point, when he does for us what some claim he has done, he'll open us up and take those judgment eyes off of us. Because what it'll show us then is like, okay, that was me. Somebody talked about me like that.
That's right.
And that didn't feel good. Because the person that talked about me was the person that I loved and looked up to in the church. We're going to almost say in the church because, that was a person in the community. I looked up to Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so in the community, and they talked about me like a dog. Said I wasn't going to ever be anything because all I want to do is get out there in the club and do this and do that. But when you hear from that person like that, that hurts. So with us, when we get to that stage, should we repeat the same thing? If we're not saved, we will. Once we become saved, it's like, you know what? I'm talking about the folks. I did the same thing. And truth be told, when the person who's talking to you happened to try to make you have talk about it, you said that you did the same thing too. Because I remember when you used to do it. And then at the same time, we flipped that script and said, I remember when you were the one that I looked up to and you talked about me when I was out there. And now what you gonna say now? I came to you, I was looking at you for guys to be the one now that nurture me and hug me and bring me into the church in my mess. And when I came to you for it, you rejected me because you were too saved to be associated with me. And the other part that gets me is these people nowadays, every time you hear a commercial that deals with political issues, these people get on TV and the radio and all and parade the word liberal around like it's a dirty word. That's the problem right there. They associate with something there. You liberals, but they're liberals. Okay, Jesus was a liberal. Jesus liberally doled out his love to everybody. He didn't just go to the saved folks. In fact, those were the people he didn't go to really. The saved folk that he knew were saved, those were people on his team. He's like, I got a place for y'all. So you here with me. We're about to go do something else. We're going to affect some change all over the world. And this past Sunday school lesson was talking about how every person was represented. And I know, and I think in that lesson we were talking about how, we look at with the 12 disciples that were chosen, the 12 tribes that were represented. That means every population of people were represented. All those liberals. It wasn't just these saved group, it wasn't just we look at it, the Sadducees and the Pharisees, those were the ones that had on the pedestal right there. So he didn't have those men of stature. He didn't need them. Because they had their own God, the little G. He needed the ones who represented the mass of the people who didn't have no representation. So he pulled one representative to go and scout the land and bring him back a report on the land itself. Because if it had what this culture liked, guess what? There was a region in that land that was for them. That's the way I interpreted it. There was a region that was for them, because if you had the people who were cattlemen, when you had rolling meadows that might have been over here in this region, you didn't need the farmers over here on the meadows and in the mountain, because they couldn't farm and do what they needed to do. So you had the cattlemen who could go there because their cattle could thrive on those meadows. You didn't need the fertile, good fertile soil for a cattleman, even though he could use it. But it was more productive with the farm. So these people were represented. This culture of people might have been farmers. This culture of people might have been builders. This might have, if you got a culture of people who were builders during that time, you can't take a sandy area or beachy area to make brick. They need it. a clay, I'm just using this as an example. They need an area that was filled with clay, so they can do their craft. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times, see, that's what God tells us. There's a place that He has for each one of us. There's a job location that He has for each one of us. We're going to be the change agent in that place. If this place needs somebody who's going to sit and tell people what they need to do, and not going to care whether they like it or not, He's going to send Cookie there. You know I had to get her. I don't get her much, but I had to get Cookie going over there. Like, she going to, hey, Cookie. I know you're going to give me back. I already know. But I had to get it while I had it. Y'all count me good on that. But if you got the other area that needs somebody who can bring the group together, that may be a person who has a people personality. God, I'm going to place you in this job. And, and so on and so forth. And that's what we have to get the understanding of. Everywhere we are, God has us placed there. Not for our purpose, for His purpose. And we have to act accordingly. We have to act accordingly. Is it always comfortable? No. That's the thing that gets us. He puts us in those positions that are totally uncomfortable. But once again, I feel like along with that is a test to say, are they going to still praise me? Are they going to still worship me in those situations? Or are they going to complain? Are they going to be like the children of Israel, who are going to complain and then wonder why Nebuchadnezzar caught them in traps? Not because he did it on his own, he did it because I allowed him to. Because they wasn't praying to me. They have everything they need. They had all the perks that come with being my children. But they complained, they griped, and they wondered why they didn't get the promotion on the job. And somebody who didn't deserve it got it. They wondered why every time they turned around, some mess was being spoken on them because they griped and complained, even though they didn't do the mess. The person who did the mess actually got the blame, got the stick on you. But see, here's the other part. When that mess got stuck on you, they still couldn't do anything to you because there was no truth in it. So everything we do, we have to learn that we're going to trust in Him at all times. And once again, like Proverbs said, lean not to thy own understanding. Because we don't know why did this happen. I've done everything right. I've done what you asked me to do. I'm trying daily, Lord. Why is it happening to me? Why? And sometimes that answer is, you're the best candidate. You're the best candidate. You don't want that answer. And we don't want to hear that because that ain't what we're looking for. Then the other answer would be, I'm not going to take it. And we don't want to hear that either because we want to hear that answer that's going to pacify us. And to make us feel like, okay, we justified. We're right in what we do. We want to hear that answer. And that's the human nature, that's the human side of us that wants to hear that because it builds up our psyche, our ego. To know, okay, well, I'm doing something right. No, not necessarily. You might be doing something wrong, and this is going to be a lesson to teach you what you need to do right. Like I said, we can go to the children of Israel again. That wasn't easy for them. But as with this society today, a lot of our own issues we bring on ourselves. A lot of issues we bring on ourselves. I'm not going to say all, but a lot of issues we bring on ourselves. We take jobs. The job has a rule that say you don't do this, then I'm going to acting like you're the boss and trying to do this. And then you want to tell the supervisor or the boss what to do. Now, if the boss or the supervisor is wrong, and you know it for a fact, there's a time and a place to let them know. There's a time and a place to say, hey, you know what? You talk to you. what you did is that was wrong. It was unfair. Now, you didn't embarrass them, you didn't try to make a spectacle of them or yourself or anything. You just went to them out of fairness because your representation was not just for you. It was for all the people around you. You know, because a lot of times people need a spokesperson. Other people need a spokesperson. They might just be, not that they're afraid, they just might not be the people who speak up at the right time, you know, until a certain thing happens. So sometimes people need a spokesperson, and if he placed you in that position, you're the liaison. You're the spokesperson for those who don't speak up. You're the liaison or the spokesperson for those who don't know how to speak up. You know, sometimes people speak up and it don't come out the way, it don't sound the way it really means. But it doesn't mean that you were being rude or ugly to them. It just didn't come out that way. So the right person is in there at the right time for the right reason. And they know when, and they know how to say the right thing. So that's the space that we're in. That's the space that he wants us to affect. And that's how he wants us to affect the spaces that we're in a very positive manner. Does all the process seem positive all the time? It doesn't seem positive, but the end result, the product is going to be positive. Anybody have anything else they'd like to share? We got about 15 minutes. Somebody come give me 2 minutes. All right, you don't have anything, shall I'll go on down to verse 7. It says, do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. I'm going to take that first part, 7, the first part of 7. It says, do not be wise in your own eyes. You know, I think we shared, you know, I said a few weeks ago, everybody has a different truth. Everybody has a different truth. If you trust him for your own truth, then that's your perception. Not saying that it's right, not saying that it's wrong, but it's right to you, but it is wrong to somebody else. And he tells us to not be wise in our own eyes because, I mean, you know, well, my interpretation is being not wise in your own eyes means I can tell the way I see it. But when I get to talk to Sheila said, well, I don't see it like that. And if I criticize Sheila, that's me being wise in my own eyes. Because I'm not seeing it from her perspective. I don't want to hear it from her perspective, and that's just it. But being not wise in your own eyes is like, okay, this is my way of seeing it, but now when you speak, you might say, well, I see it this way. I should have, that lack of wisdom in my own eyes should be a point where it says, you know what, I'm going to open my ears, I'm not a judge, I'm going to listen to how she said it. Because she might see what she has in her may be a little bit different from mine, but it don't mean that she's wrong. Don't mean that I'm wrong, and don't mean that she's right or I'm right. You know, I think I shared in the Sunday school class that I had a child about 12 years ago. And I was doing a problem on the board, and I was like, I was going through the problem, and I was like, I'm just working it. This is a new strategy we using. I looked at this child, I looked at about 4 other kids in the room, and they just had this look on their face, several of them just a blank stare. But there's one child, we call him Trey. Trey had this scowl on his face. He was looking at me like, I mean, just frowning on 3rd grade. I said, Trey, you okay? Trey said, Mr. Taylor, you wrong. You're doing that wrong. And I was like, I said, what you mean? The first part of me was like, well, what do you mean what I'm doing it wrong? I mean, this is she's just a 3rd grader. He said, Mr. Taylor, you wrong. You're doing the problem wrong. And it was so amazing. I said, I tell you what, I said, Trey. And God just intervened right then and said, okay, shut up and listen. I said, Trey, come to the board. This child, it brings tears to my eyes now to think about it. This child worked the problem totally backwards. When I say totally backwards, But when he got done with it was so easy. Every other child in there was like, oh, the boy that had that blank look on their face, they were like, oh yeah, I got that. And it was, when we look at it from our typical progression of how to work these problems out, we look at it and say, you're doing that step, this step, that step. He was like going through it, and those children that were with him were on the same page with him. They could spit it back to me like that. I had lost them because I was working the problem out. I mean, I worked it out like several times, and they didn't really understand. So I was like, I'm trying to simplify it. But when he spoke up and said, you're wrong, and came to the board and worked that thing out, I stepped back and I said, Lord, that'll be easy for me. I mean, I can even understand it much better now. But those children, he gained those other children, the ones that I was losing. I could have easily been that dictator and said, no, this is my class, we're going to do it my way, and that's it. Y'all just have to get it my way. But God said, sit down and shut up and watch it. And at that point, I had to learn, okay, you can loosen the reins right now because this wasn't the run. And this child was my go-to. When something happened, I would literally call him and say, Trey, go work with their group. All those struggling kids, literally, they went from not knowing one step of it to knowing the problem, and they could help somebody else. And I said, well, how do you get that? And I'd make them, to make sure that they knew it, I would make them come and explain to me what they did, how they did it, and I was like, hey, you got it. I'd interject different numbers in the problem to change it up, and they would come back and it worked out on their own. You know, once again, what God does for us, situations that seem to be dire or seem to be simple to one of us, it's not our position to tell the other person that they're wrong because they don't get it. It's not our position to tell the other person wrong because they have a different perspective. It's our position to say, from a godly perspective, I won't listen to you. That child taught me something, and I used it on my other classes from that point on. And it's so amazing because when they started coming out with the stuff, he was light years ahead of his science, because all the new STEM practices that we have to do in class now, this kid was doing STEM type problems on his own. He had figured it out. And I'm like, wow, that's the same stuff. And like when I started doing it, they said, we want y'all to do these, start doing these in the curriculum, making sure they work and make them do these steps. I'm like, okay, it's kind of like we've been doing it. And it wasn't because of myself. It was because of that 9-year-old child that told me I was wrong. And it was because of God putting wisdom in me to when to sit down and shut my mouth, when to listen. And I tell my children right now, I said, John, I learned from you all. When you hear a 7-year-old say, Mr. Taylor, you're the teacher, you know everything. I said, no, I don't. They say, you know how to do this. I said, yes, I know that. I said, but I learned stuff from you all too. And they laugh. And you give them those little successes, and the child will go to the end for you. Once God does, we're going to look at God and see what he does the same thing. There are things that God can actually just do. He can make things happen instantly. But when he gives us that challenge, when he chastens us, he makes us figure out how to do things, how to trust him, and how to be patient. That's what he's doing. And it goes to the adage of when you give a man a fish, you feed him for a meal, and you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. That's what God does to you. When we go through stuff that he won't remove instantly. He can. We treat him like the Hebrew boy, even if he don't, we know he's able. He can remove them, but he does not remove them all the time for a reason. And it is to make us stronger. And the strength, once again, the strength is not in trying to be strong on our own. The strength is knowing how weak we are. So we get back to the point of Proverbs telling us to trust him. Not just with some, but with all of our heart. not into what I understand. What we were saying just a minute ago, I lean not to, just because I grew up doing something a certain way, don't make it right. So when you come to walk, you need to hear, this is how I do it. And when I look at you and tell you ain't doing it like that, tell you, you know, you're wrong, then I'm still leaning to my understanding. That's a problem. We ain't trusting. And that's all he wants us to do. Be faithful, trusting, and obedient. If we do those things, we'll be fine. We're still gonna mess up from time to time, but do those things. No matter where we are, acknowledge. No matter what we're doing, acknowledge. No matter who we're around, acknowledge. Because I'm gonna go with that other part. He said, if you are ashamed to honor me before men, I'll be ashamed to honor you before my Father. When we do that, how many of us gonna bet? I don't know of anybody. Anybody have anything else they would like to say? Any closing remarks? If not, I'm gonna ask someone to close us out with a prayer. Anybody? Got my hand. Thank you, Lord. Yes. Yes, Lord. Yes. Amen.